So I want to discuss a couple concepts out of Martin Heidegger's Being in Time, and specifically in Division 1, Chapter 5. In the chapter called Being In as Such, this is the translation that I prefer. There's another translation which I think is also, there's two main translations of this work. This one is my personal favorite. I want to talk about a few things which are discussed in that chapter 5, which is called Being In as Such. And I want to talk about Thrownness, Fallenness, and understanding. Heidegger uses the word Befindlichkeit, which in German means how one finds oneself. Or there could be different ways of translating that word. But how one finds oneself, or Thrownness. Thrownness is also comes from the word in German called, which is Geworfenheit, and those two words are kind of in a way close to each other. So we've had the concept of Thrownness, or Befindlichkeit, or Geworfenheit, which is how one finds oneself. And these three things are going to relate to Sorge, or care. And Heidegger looks at Dasein as a unitary structure. He thinks about the care structure as, as how Dasein's being is in itself care, and how one has concern for one's projects or one's possibilities as well as others, or which in this translation the word used for that is solicitude. So we have those things, and these three concepts, Befindlichkeit, Verstehen, and Verfallen, come together in a way to explain care or concern for things in the world. And through that, Dasein, through that, Heidegger derives the freedom of Dasein, the freedom to take one's facticity to comport himself towards things, to change his possibilities. So what is Befindlichkeit? Befindlichkeit is, of course, Thrownness, or how one finds oneself. Heidegger says that Dasein finds himself thrown into a world. So Thrownness is best explained how one finds oneself in this world. And that has to do with concern or care, in that one is already in the world, and that he has concern for his projects and his possibilities, as well as his fellow Dasein. Secondly, we have the concept of Verstehen, or understanding, which is that we have understanding towards projects and possibilities. And this is through the understanding of one's facticity and one's potentiality. You have this, the way that you comport yourself to things is the development of oneself, or Dasein's development of itself. So understanding is just basically a understanding of. I was outbid on something. Verstehen is basically understood as how one understands your facticity and your potentiality, and how you can comport yourself to certain things, to make things different, to change your possibilities, and to, I guess, give attention to your projects to change your possibilities. Thirdly, Verfallen, or Fallenness, which expresses Dasein's average everydayness. Heidegger says that Dasein is fallen into the world, and fallen can also be referred to the they, as to how Dasein is fallen into the they, as to how Dasein's self is not prior to the other, how other is prior. But to be authentic, you have, in a way, to make some sort of individuality of yourself and not just be entirely fallen into the they. But fallenness here expresses Dasein's average everydayness, or how Dasein is immersed into the world. So fallenness can refer to how Dasein is immersed in the world, or immersed in the they. They're kind of the same concept. But those three things pertain to Dasein's being as care. They pertain to the care structure. So first of all, with Thrownness, Dasein finds itself in a facticity. Thirdly, with understanding, or secondly, Dasein comports itself to its possibilities. It has an understanding of how its facticity is and how its potentiality could be. Thirdly, Dasein comports itself to its projects in its average everydayness, in that it is immersed in that world. How does this pertain to care, you might ask? These three things pertain to care in that these three things kind of explain how one does have care about one's projects and one's possibilities. And that's kind of what I'm wanting to explain. I'm not sure that if I explained that well in my video on the chapter 5. I'm not sure, but pretty soon I'll be doing a video on chapter 6, being as care, in this book, and then that will be the end of the first division, and I'll move on to the second division. So if you think I've messed something up or left something out, comment below and let me know. Thank you.